Hey everyone, I don't know if this is actually working. My internet looks very slow and I'm on the new uploader thing that Facebook's got that we're going to press on anyway. Now we're live. I don't know if you got the beginning or not. Here we are. Oh my goodness, how are you all? I am in a state of flux, in a state of feeling all the things, feeling behind, trying to catch up, making sure to get my feedback with the people started before our call on Sunday, whinging about having to get up at 7 on a Sunday, but making the commitment to myself to do it anyway, even though I hate mornings. I'm not a morning person, but committed to the work as much as I can be, and even with my dislike for mornings and wanting to get on camera, not looking my best, or after being up all night with my daughter. Since our last call, I have felt really behind. I felt like I've been in the mud. Did some work with Amy around this in a one-on-one call I've had with her, because I'm doing another one-to-one mentoring with her. So I have been journeying with softening some more, surrendering more than I even thought possible. I thought I was done with that. Apparently not. I've been leaning into also being more gentle with my daughter and asking her what does she need from me. That's going okay. It's challenging for me right now to stay calm when she plays up. Really try to hold my center and not set her off more, because my daughter is my number one mirror. I'm looking in the mirror all the time with her, and she is little Miss Klingon and just wants mummy, 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 to the point I can't even do anything without her hanging off me right now. And she's getting heavy. Oh gosh, they grow up too fast. So there's that. I'm also really anchoring in trusting myself and my processes. So this is where I guess I'm kind of reclaiming my power in a way. But then I have a lot of triggers in relationships I've done. Oh gosh. The biggest amount of journaling I've done for ages. 12 pages, where I was blocked from the journaling before. Not anymore. I've done all the questions on my dad. That was a little bit painful in some aspects, especially since he's not here with us anymore. And then also that identities list. I think there was only one on there that I didn't identify with, which is kind of leaning into some feedback that I just got from one of the people that I asked to help me, and that is actually what I wanted to share. Oh, I've got a minute and a half left. Gosh, the time goes so quick. I really, really stretched in this last week. I've been talking to strangers everywhere I go. I've been trying to smile at people, being open. I've had amazing conversations in the salon. Yes, got my nails done. With some guys, some young guys that were actually high school age, were getting their nails done. We had a really lovely conversation about equality and the right to express yourself however you like, and the fact that one of them goes to a Catholic school and is changing schools because they won't let him wear pink nail polish, even though the girls can do it, which is complete discrimination and not on. If he's not hurting anyone, who cares? And then the other assumption that he's going through is people, assuming that he's trans. It's for fuck's sake, people, stay in your own business. And that is the other big lesson I've been really trying to embrace and lean into. It's one of the harder ones for me. And this really came up for me yesterday. I don't know if any of you, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you probably saw my video. I did a soul drop yesterday. Finally did another video, so things are anchoring. I haven't done a soul drop for months. Things are anchoring, so I'm feeling like I'm in my complete expansion and embodiment finally. Like, I'm there. I've arrived. I finally arrived on Earth completely, and I thought that I had done this process already, but it turns out I'm a very, very, very layered onion. So yes, I felt like I was behind, and I reached out to 6 guys that I had written down from our coaching call, and I felt real iffy about, to give me the feedback. And the first one was, this is the bit that was really triggering for me and which I'm really feeling into and has really actually caused me to do, I got that inspiration from Soul, and also is causing me to question all the relationships in my life. And that is, I messaged my cousin, Dean, who we grew up together. We're like a year apart. We were like brother and sister when we were really young. We actually got married when I was 3. Like, we're really, really close. As we've grown up, though, they've moved away and we kind of gone apart. But in recent times, I thought since my wedding, because he came to my wedding and everything, which was, 5 years ago almost now. Actually, it's over 5 years ago that I got married, and then I had my wedding. I got married legally in June, and then we had my wedding in November. We did it European style. So we got legally married first and then had the wedding. Irrelevant. Trying to keep this short, Amy. I'm sorry. So my cousin Dean, I sent him the message. I sent him a text asking him, if he could help me out. And I thought, that things were good between us because he came to my wedding and we'd been in touch on and off over the past couple of years. His mother, who I was also close to, has isolated herself from me, so I don't know if it's related to that. And this is where I found myself getting triggered back into being in other people's business, because he wrote back to me and he just told me to fuck off. And I'm like, what? How can this be? So immediately I got triggered, and then I started trying to figure out why, and then it's like, well, hang on a minute. Why am I doing that? And I wrote back to him immediately, and I was like, well, not immediately, a little bit after the trigger. I was like, what do I do here? I'm going to try and lean in, but I was really triggered, really, really triggered, because it's like one of the closest relationships in my life. It's like my brother. Like, to me, I would have liked to have been real, like, brother and sister kind of vibe my whole life, We were always there for each other no matter what, and then here's this. And I don't know what I've done wrong. So I wrote back to him and I said, well, what did I ever do to you? Actually, I didn't say it in that tone. I actually sent out I wanted to get the feedback. But then as I felt into it more, I started to realize, well, hang on a minute. Just because he came to my wedding, just because we kind of been, in touch recently, that doesn't mean that that's the type of relationship I actually want, because it's not. I want close, authentic, meaningful relationships where you can be completely open and honest and be there for each other no matter what. Even if you've just had a huge mega argument, if something's important, that you will help each other out. So this is where I'm starting to sit into my boundaries and my values. So I really started to feel into that. And then I realized, well, hang on a minute. This relationship has to die to allow the relationships that I really desire and that my soul desires to come in. Ding, ding, ding. Then came the insight for the soul drop. So I really started to feel into it. So then I was like, you know what? I don't even need the answer. And I was like, I'm cutting this off. I don't want this energy. I don't want this connection anymore. So I blocked him on Facebook, even though he'd already removed me as a friend, and I blocked his number. And yes, there's a little bit of trigger in that, and I need to work through it. I've got it written down here that I need to journal on it. But you know what? Just closing off the energy and standing or sitting or really committing to what I desire, what my soul desires, and what I'm here for feels fucking amazing. And then that now is having me look at every other relationship in my life. And then this is the second point. The second guy, so the first person who I asked to help me with the feedback told me to fuck off. The second person told me that they were too busy next week. They had a whole heap of stuff going on. This is like 2 days after asking me if I could help them out with something next week, and me saying, I'm not sure, I'm a bit busy. I'll have to look at my calendar. And then they're like, no, I don't have time. Thanks for reaching out to me. I appreciate you. I love you, but no. And then I was like, okay, well, that's got me to look at that relationship. And I'm going, well, no, I don't want to be close to people that are flaky. I don't want to have that dynamic, of being there when someone wants me, and like being there for other people when they want me, and them not being there for me when I want them. So I'm questioning that now too. And then it's really got me also, I wanted to share about my birth story, but I might cut this video off and do another check-in on my birth story, because that's a long story in and of itself. You know what, I'll keep going. Let's just do it in the one video. I'm sorry it's long, Amy. I know you like us to keep them short. Can you please let me know in the comments if you want me to keep the video shorter, or to just do the check-in however long it takes. I really would like to know what's easiest for you guys to watch and connect with, and I need to come back in and connect and share some love with you guys too, because I have been a bit absent from the online space. I am here in spirit though. I'm sending you love all the time. I love you girls, ladies, women. I'm trying not to be offensive here. So then, I started thinking about my birth story, and basically from the moment I was born, my father didn't want to claim me because I nearly killed my mother. So my mum had a tough pregnancy. She had preeclampsia, I think, and she had high blood pressure. She was 40 when I was born. She had my sister when she was 21, so there's a 19-year age gap between me and my sister. My sister's passed away as well. This is another thing that I've been working through. All the people that I love the most are on the other side now, and I really just want them here physically to cuddle me and hold me. I just want to be held and loved and cuddled. So that's me leaning into reaching out to who is here in person to be able to have the two-way connection with people. And that then led me to do a loneliness meditation last night from Teal Swan, and part of it was feeling into the loneliness. Why am I lonely? How does it feel? Where is it sitting in my body? All of those things. And then getting the soul guidance of what is the medicine here for me. And the medicine is to stop shutting myself off and to reach out and lean in and connect with people. Stop trying to protect myself by taking myself out of the picture and trying to do everything for everybody else and not receiving myself. So I'm really working on that. I thought I had worked on it. Apparently the walls have been coming up again. So my birth story, yes, my mum, she had, I think, high blood pressure as well. And I was getting too big for her. My mum's shorter than I am. I was getting too big for her body, so they elected to give her an elective C-section 4 weeks before I was due. So I was actually born 4 weeks early. I was supposed to be born on the 29th of October and be a Scorpio baby. But no, I was born on the 29th of September and a Libra baby on the cusp of Virgo. I was supposed to be Scorpio on the cusp of Libra. My dad actually, that's one thing my dad was happy about. He's like, I don't want a Scorpio kid. They're too unruly. So he was happy about that. But my mum nearly died. So she had the C-section. My placenta, I think she had placenta previa or something, the next level from that, where it was my placenta had buried too far into the side of her lining of her uterus. So then she was bleeding too much when they did the C-section. So then they had to decide, because they had to knock mum out to do it because of her age and her stress level and all of those things. And so then my auntie was there, and this is another person in my life who I've been close to, but I'm now not even in relationship with because she was putting unreasonable expectations on me, and I cut that off a while ago. But I still, feeling into this birth story, I still feel sad, and I still have grief around that. So I'm going to have to write down here about grief, journaling, and working through some grief in my body around these relationships. I'm going to write down grief, loss of relationships with people close to me. I don't know how many more death and rebirths do we need? I shouldn't even ask the question because the universe will hit me with it now. Hey. grief through loss of relationships with people closest to me. So my auntie said to the doctor that my mum wanted more children, which she did. She wanted to try and have a boy after me because they knew I was a girl. Dad didn't believe it. He wanted a boy. But turns out I was the only granddaughter for my dad's parents. His sister had 2 boys and he had 1 girl. So he was happy with a girl in the end, but at the beginning he didn't want a girl. So my auntie said to the doctor, tie her tubes because that's more easily reversible than giving her a hysterectomy, my mum. So they did that. It didn't work. So then they had to give my mother a hysterectomy. So my mother had 3 operations in one. She was out for a day. She broke the blood bank. They did not have enough of her type of blood. They had to get it in from Sydney to revive her. She didn't get to see me for 3 days. They went and put me in like the humidity crib and everything, and with my bum in the air. I think I was jaundiced and, fed me bottles and stuff, and Mum didn't get to see me for 3 days. She doesn't even know what time I was born. All she knows is that she went in for the operation at 11 o'clock. So from my own story with having my daughter, I ended up having to have a C-section for my daughter. I had similar things, not as bad as Mum's because I'm not as highly strung as her, but anxiety runs in the family. So I had some similar things. My daughter was cracking my pubic bone trying to come out, so I had to have an elective C-section myself. And I went in at 6 in the morning, first cab off the rank with the specialist, and my daughter wasn't born till 8:41. So extrapolating from that, I have surmised that I was born around 1:41 or around 2 o'clock. But my mum doesn't even know. She just says 11 o'clock because that's when she went in to have the operation. So my mum's there, had these 3 operations. I'm in with all the other babies and the nurses and whatever. My dad doesn't even want to look at me. My dad was more worried about my mum, didn't want to lose my mum, didn't want to look at me, didn't want to hold me, didn't want to touch me. And also was making plans that if my mum didn't come through, that he was going to send me to Croatia with his mother. He wasn't even going to bring me up himself. So that leads into this story that I've been working through of my dad never choosing me and never cherishing me, which is a story that's played out in so many of my relationships. All I ever wanted to be was chosen or claimed and loved unconditionally for who I am, no matter what. I don't have to be anything, but instead I learnt to people please, and I've noticed actually in recent times my people pleaser is coming out again, and I thought that I had worked through that. So, I guess I wasn't really joking when I commented in the group the other day when Amy put up, what have you learnt about men? And I put, I prefer women, because if my mother hadn't have lived when I was born, I would not be sitting here today. I would not have the opportunities that I have had. I would not be able to do my soul work in the world, which I've worked towards and what I'm here to do and be. My mother is the one that held all that for me. My dad didn't even want to look at me, didn't want to touch me. He didn't want anything to do with me until he knew my mum was okay. And, drawing on this experience, I did say to my husband when my daughter was born, I said, look, if you have to choose between her and me, choose her. I've had, if it's my time to go, I've had my life. She hasn't had hers. So now, I guess, reflecting on it, I didn't think I would get this emotional. I guess I have been moving with some big energies. I am really, really leaning into where all of this is showing up, feeling it and moving through it, with my my identities, you know, strong one, responsible one, rebel, bad girl, broken one, fuck up, positive one, spiritual one, party starter, good girl, shy one, drama queen. I think that's every freaking identity. I'm all of them, and how they've shown up and how I am shifting and changing. And every time I thought that I was surrendered and soft, but it clearly is an ongoing process. Maybe I will never get there, and I have to learn to be okay with that. And where is there anyway? What are all these expectations? I mean, that's how I lived my life. Taking the world on my shoulders, doing everything for other people, you know, feeling intimidated by other people, feeling anxious in crowds, feeling unworthy, feeling like I have to be someone I'm not to get approval. You know, and I think I'm just going to end with sharing how my personas have shown up around men, and that, all right, I'll share them, and then I'm going to finish with what my focuses are, in the hope that this may help anyone else who is journeying with this exact same things. So they've shown up as manipulation, feeling intimidated by men, my way or the highway, showing off, challenging men, being too forward, unable to state my wants, deferring to men at my expense, and losing myself. It's very easy for me to lose myself because I have only 3 defined centers in my soul template, my human design, and my gene keys. Everything else is open, and it is a blessing because I can really resonate with people and connect and have clarity and know how to help people. But when it comes to directing all of that to myself and feeling worthy and receiving, that is my struggle. But the other side of that coin is part of my joy. One of the biggest ways I feel joy is in service. So when I serve other people, I receive too, but I have to learn to receive without having to serve or having to be anything, you know. So I am sitting with all of what I've just shared, and the 2 key things that I really want to get clear on, maybe we can talk about this in the call on Sunday, is because I asked 6 men to help me. The first 2 said no. The other 4 said yes straight away, no problem. So I asked 2 cousins, 2 good friends, and my ex-husband, who I'm still good friends with now. We've moved through that phase. And a friend and ex-lover. So what are the attributes of the men who show up for me without expectation, who show up unconditionally, are always there for me, always show up for me? And what do I really desire in my relationships? So that's what I am moving towards now. I've just done one of the feedback. I've got another one tonight, I think, with my ex-husband. I'm going to do one more tomorrow. And then I think this coming week will be the 4th one. So I'll have at least 3 done by Sunday. And that's important to me because that's my people pleaser, trying to make sure that I am on top of the work in doing what's set on the schedule, but also showing up for myself and trying to be committed while also journeying with loving myself, unconditional love and self-care and all of that. If you've watched this video, thank you so much. I am so grateful for all of you. I'm so grateful for you, Amy. You know, I didn't think that this program or the work that you and I have been doing together would be able to crack me open like this. So I'm actually quite impressed that we've been able to do this, and also impressed with myself for actually letting go of control, because control has been the way that I have survived. But I don't want to survive anymore. I want to thrive. I think I'm going to cut this off. I love you all, and I look forward to connecting with you on Sunday and in the group once I've got my shit more together. Mwah!